Okay, so we're live. Good evening, everybody. It's 8 o'clock here in the UK, and it's afternoon in Dean's time, Eastern time. So tonight, we are going to interview Master Shamim of Kalis Illustrisimo UK. Abjol sends his apologies because he was called to attend to something. So we are just going to reschedule him for an interview. So good afternoon, Dean. Good evening, Shamim.
Hey.
Hello, Dean. Hello, Tom.
Hi.
Yeah. Nice to be sandwiched between two KI guys.
Yeah, I know what's really nice is I didn't have to do much work for this one because man, I'm just getting freaking all the interviews. I'm drowning.
It'll be fun, Dean.
So
yeah.
that's nice. I can kind of just sit back and piggyback off whatever you guys have to say. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. So just a quick introduction. So Master Shamim is the UK rep for Kalis Illustrisimo, which was given to him by Master Tony Diego, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And he is also my colleague at the British Council of Kali Eskrima Arnis instructors. And just a reminder, guys, on the 2nd of October and 3rd of October, we are going to have the FMA Festival. If you want to see Master Shamim in action teaching and myself, join us in Luton. Okay, so good evening, Shamim. Let's start off. Let's start off with your journey to FMA.
Okay. Well, I started my martial art journey when I was about 16 officially. Now, prior to that, being involved in fights and whatnot. Yeah. But my interest has always been to actually learn something. But when I was 16, when I joined the sixth form, I met a guy there who was into, I think, Tang Sudo or whatever. And he was always trying to do some stuff with me. And he showed me this book once, and I used to flick through there and see all the moves. I used to come and mess about with him. And that was quite fun. Then I discovered, literally where I used to live in Shoreditch in East London, there was a club called Academy, run by Bob Breen. He's famous for bringing Eskrima into Europe. And I went there one day, just out of the blue, thought, let me see what's this about. And I saw them do JKD, saw them do Eskrima. I was there pretty much throughout the whole session watching people training. And there I saw the likes of, Pat O'Malley, John Harvey, Simon Wells, Krishna Kadania, Lee Banda, all these old boys, which are still in contact with them. So yeah, that inspired me to do it. Just joined one day with a few of my friends, and started training. Basically, a lot of them dropped out. I didn't drop out. I remember my very first session. I had to ask my dad for £4 for the class. It was like, can I borrow £4? I was thinking I'm going to get a slap or something. Why you want to spend money on Russia? But he gave me the money, and thereafter I thought, you know what, I'm not going to ask him for money. I'm going to have to save up or do something to do my training, and I did. I really enjoyed the training. I used to be a bit of a wheeler dealer, really. I used to buy bikes or something and fix it up, sell it to get my money to do the training, and that's what I did for many years. I was there from probably 91 to 93 or something like that, training. And at that time, Pat O'Malley was there teaching, and Pat and John Harvey, who are also part of the British Council, they started their own kind of group, if you like, Rapid Arnis. So I was training with Pat, and when Pat decided to move on from the academy, myself and Abjol and my other colleagues we followed suit. So I was one of Pat's early students. Myself was Jude, Tucker. Who else was there? I can't remember people's name, but Jude, Jude and I. So I started first, then Jude came along. Me and Abdul was there. Jude came along, and we trained until probably 95, I'd say, when I got my black belt under Pat. But in between that time, between 91 and 95, in 93, John Chow, who was also a student of Tony Diego and Tatang back in the days, he happened to turn up in the academy one day for work. And he turned up to Bob's Academy while I was training. And after training, he sort of said to me, you know, come over here. You look like you're really interested in this kind of stuff. Do you want to learn a bit more? Sort of thing. And I said, yeah, what do you do? And he said, oh, I do Illustrissimo system. And I had no idea what Illustrissimo was. I never heard of it. And he pointed me, he said, look at the picture. I remember, he pointed at a picture in the academy with Tatang and Bob Breen. I was, I think, World Eskrima Championships, 92, I think it was. I said, well, that old man. I was like him. He said, yeah. Then he started to tell me stories about Tatang, you know, his adventures, all the stuff that you've heard already, you know, stuff like him getting on a ship and going to Mindanao and all that stuff. And I was really kind of interested in the man. Forget about the art, interested in the man. And John Chow basically invited me and my friend at the time, Riza, to visit him in his hotel to do some training. So we did that. We trained after our normal training at the academy. We used to travel hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, to go to his hotel and train. We did that for over a week or so. And he flew off back to Australia, and we kept in touch because I really was interested in learning it. But in that time, there was nobody else to train Illustrissimo with, so I did my rapid harness. The following year, 94, we went as a British squad, myself and Abdul, Pat O'Malley, John Harvey, and all the rest, went to the Philippines for the World Championship. And I saw Tatang there, actually, with Tony Diego and that. But I was too scared to approach him because what John Chow has always said to me is, do not go and approach Tatang or Tony Diego until I give you a recommendation. It was like that. And okay. I sort of, you know, I was loyal to that. I believed in that, and you know, I trusted what he had to say. So I saw them from afar, and by then Tatang was quite old anyway. At that year, I think he was quite ill. So I never really did anything with that. And again, in the academy, we saw people come and do different seminars, different styles, and we joined in. And I was interested in the Silat as well at the time. And I never really pursued too much of the Silat. I went to see Richard Dubord once, and he freaked me out. He really did. He scared me. The way he was moving, the way he was doing things. He was talking to me in a conversation, but he was looking like sideways and observing his guys training and telling them off. Not like this, like that. I thought, right, this guy's freaky. And I never did. I never did pursue the Silat for a long time. Anyway, for a long time. So I was interested in other stuff, but Illustrissimo was my main interest. So where was I? So that's 95. And then when we came back from 94, so came back from the Philippines, we still trained with Pat, did a bit. And then I think it was in 97, 98, I got a bit kind of fed up, if you like, of waiting to be introduced to Master Tony and everybody else. And things were going on in my life anyway, in my personal life and whatnot. And I was just getting fed up. For a while, I stopped doing rapid harness. I stopped training in Illustrissimo. I was doing just basic 4 count, to be honest, 4 count by myself or with one of my training partners. And I said to John Chow, I got fed up, and I did Aikido for about 3-4 months just to see if there's something out there that I might be interested in. After seeing that, I thought, no, I'm going back to the Filipino martial art. Then I emailed. Back then it was email, and I emailed John Chow and I said to him, you know, either you introduce me or I'm not interested, forget it, because I made him an ultimatum in a way. I don't know if John remembers that. And he said, okay, do you know what? You can go. And that was probably 98, 99, something like that. And yeah, so
4 or 5 years of waiting.
Yeah, I was waiting. Do you know what? Most students nowadays would have bypassed it, would have gone over, and trained, whatever. But I always believe in, you know, having the discipline and respect. And if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah.
That's the kind of philosophy. So I went there with Abjul because I needed a training partner. Abjul was my training partner time. So we went over there after the introduction. And that was it for me. Complete life changer in terms of martial arts, Filipino martial arts at least. Because when I turned up, I remember walking up those dark, dingy stairs, really scared, nervous, really, because at the time I didn't even see him. It was in Guru Master Tom's gym in Chinatown.
Tom D.
Tom D, yeah. You know, he used to train there twice a week. That was his premises. And it was really dark. When I say dark, there's no lights up until you get to the 3rd floor. So we Abjul and I getting there. Tom actually picked us up on the first night from our hotel to bring us there. And once we walked up the stairs and the door opened, hello. It was like, hello, Shamim, hello. He knew my name. Obviously, he's been told. And the feeling and the warmth I got from Master Tony, I just knew I was in the right place. Master Tony straight away took to me and really treated me like as if I was a student from a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was so natural. I just, you know what, I can't describe it. I get a lump in my throat thinking about it.
Yeah. There is definitely fun memories from Montoni then at the beginning.
From day one, yeah.
Yeah, from day one.
Yeah, from day one, you know, he took me on board, and you know, we did a lot of training. Obviously, Abdul and I trained with Master Tony, but for some reason, you know, he took a shining to me, and I'll be grateful for that forever, you know. So that was, you know, training then. We did about a month, but I remember it was about a month or so training with him, and you know, through there, got to meet people like, you know, Coach Arnold, Nico, and so many people. My mind's gone blank now. You know, so many people I've met over there. That was that year, and following year, in 2000, I think it was a year after, 2 years after. Yeah, about a couple of years later, 2000, I was back in the World Championships, British Scotland. That's when I won my world title. You know, after trying in '94 and getting a bronze, I got a gold this time. So when I stayed over, so the squad was there for 3 weeks. I stayed over there for 2 months, training with Master Tony. Yeah, and I was there with him day and night, literally. So I would go to see him in the morning at his workplace, because Master Tony used to work in the piers. He was a supervisor there. So I used to go see him there. I was like a rash. I was like a rash. I used to be there in the morning. Then we should go train in the gym in the night times. And on Sundays, it will be the group training in Luneta Park. So that went on, you know, like 2 months solid with him. And in between that, I had a break. I went to Australia to see Guru John Chow, and I was training his guys over there for about 3 weeks. So that was an experience, really. That's what really helped me to get a grip of the system so quick, because I spent so much time with Montoni. That was me into training Filipino martial art. And when I came back to England, I sort of re-sparked my interest in Silat, and I found Steve Benitez.
Yeah.
I think it's called Satya Fighting Arts, but at the time we were training, I think it was called Wali Songo Silat or something along those lines. And that was the first time I saw somebody that I could relate to who really moved so well, and it did not compromise my Illustrissimo. So it did not compromise it. So what he was saying about my Illustrissimo is he recognized, the similarities between the Silat Indonesian style and Illustrissimo that I did. Yeah. So I did that for until probably 2006, and when I had a hand injury and I couldn't really do too much. I spent a year on physio trying to fix myself up, but I never really got back into doing that. In between that, I think I did some Silat with Pak Arifin as well, with the Silat Melayu, but I didn't really do too much of that. And more recently, back in 2015, I got introduced to Ken Chechep with the Panglipur. Again, I didn't do much of that because he's in Indonesia. He's busy with his film and whatnot. I've always said I'm going to go to Indonesia and do some training, but again, things just happen and never did. So my interest has been in Silat and Filipino martial art. In between all of that, I've done studying with Simon Wells, doing Thai boxing. Training, like I said, training with Pat O'Malley and John Harvey. So these have been my main core things that I've been doing, really. In '98, so I'm going back and forth because my timeline's all over the place.
Okay.
In '98, I started teaching Rapid Arnis officially with the blessing of Pat O'Malley. And a couple of years later, after I sort of really got into Illustrissimo, I sort of dropped Rapid Arnis and focused purely on Illustrissimo. So since then, I've been just doing Illustrissimo.
I just have a question, just for the viewers who might not know, when you say Rapid Arnis, could you just tell maybe the folks, what that is, as far as the style and what have you?
Yeah, Rapid Arnis was put together, like I say, by John Harvey and Pat O'Malley, and that was a blend of, I would say, La Punti, Dosi Paris, and whatever else it was. Had a really strong La Punti influence. I actually trained in La Punti myself when we went to the Philippines in '94. Myself and Abdul, of course. Like I said to Tom last time, we should do La Punti training early hours of the morning. Early hours we should train. 2-3 hours, 4 hours sometimes, and then have a rest. Then go to the Dosi Paris headquarters and train with the Dosi Paris crew. And we've got really friendly with Master Journey's family, and they really treat us so well. I'm still in contact with one of Master Journey's nieces. We got to train with Intin Karin before he passed away. Got to train with Momoy Kenyeti, of course with Master Journey Kenyeti as well, who sadly recently passed away. So we had a good round experience when we were there in '94. So I got exposed to a lot of styles while I was out there.
Okay.
But whilst I was doing all of that, my interest was always the Illustrissimo. Yeah. Wow. That's why I didn't commit myself to anything else.
Is that group? Is he now? He's in England. Pat O'Malley.
Yeah, England.
Okay.
Well, it is in Penzance, I think, somewhere like Devon area.
Yeah.
Tom, are you in touch with them, Tom? Or
Yeah. Well, I'm basically, because like John Harvey, Pat O'Malley, they were actually the people behind the British Council.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I'm lining them up for
Yeah, I
interviews
was
as
gonna
well.
say, I definitely have heard that name before, and I was just okay.
Yeah, we would say the founding fathers of
So
of
far as the
British
British
of the
Council.
And
British Council.
once you met Pat, you're not going to forget him.
Yeah, and I think
He's a character.
isn't it Shamim, that Roland Dantes actually was the one who almost like pushed Pat to start the British Council, something like that.
Something like that. I don't know the
Yeah.
full story, but I remember Pat speaking to me about it before it actually, was conceived. But I can't remember the full story. He was asking me about, we should do this and we should do that, and I said, it's really good.
Yeah, and I think some other councils, FMA councils in other places, pattern their bylaws and organizational structure from the British Council. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Trendsetters. No.
I keep out of all of that. I just go and teach and come back home. That's it.
Yeah. Well, before we carry on with some questions from Dean, we would like to welcome again everybody. Thank you for watching us. Please hit the like and heart button. And if you got any question for Master Shamim, you can directly message me or Dean, or you can put it in the comment box. Yeah.
So.
Right. Oh, so well, at least you already told us how often you visit the Philippines for your training and how long you stay there. And I always tell you guys, I envy you.
Like I said, I've been more times in the Philippines than my own country, So it is the way it is. When I used to go there, they used to think I'm Filipino. They don't believe. Some of the locals don't believe.
I know. I mean, I'm telling you, Dean. Even like the likes of Pat O'Malley, GM Anton, John Harvey, they go to the Philippines a lot of times, and they stay there for like months for training.
Oh man, I know. I missed the boat on that one.
Yeah. Oh, there's a question
Sorry, carry on.
There's a question from Abul. What's your fondest memory of Montoni? Of GM Tony?
Fondest memories. Oh, well, there's so many memories of Master Tony, So where do I start? I don't know about the fondest, but there's so many. But one time I said to him, I was getting annoyed with myself because I train and, I'm the kind of person that whether I do the CLAT or I did my FMA, Steve Benitez said the same thing to me. And Master Tony said the same thing to me. I said, I wish I met you earlier. And he said, you know what? There's always a time and a place. And it wasn't your time, now it's your place, sort of thing, So everybody has what's meant to be will be. So I thought, you know what? It's all right. And another time I said, man, one day I wish I could move like you. And he was laughing. He said, do you know what, Shamim? When I was your age, I think I was about, how old was I? I don't know, maybe 30-ish or something like that. He goes, I didn't move as well as you. Because you move better than me when I was your age. So you've got nothing to worry about, he said to me. That was quite nice. A reassurance from Master Tony. Loads of times. He said loads of things. And very last year that I saw him before he passed away, the year before, I remember he kept on introducing me to people in the Netta Park, and we don't have really ranks or whatever. But when you get to a certain level, other teachers recognize you for your level, your skill. I was quite surprised. Master Tony kept on saying to me when he introduced me to somebody, "Oh, this is Master Shamim. This is Master Shamim, my student, Master Shamim." And I was taken back by that because I've never heard him say that about me. He'll always say Shamim, whatever. And I said to him, what's going on, dear? He said, don't worry. And then one day he gave me my sword and he said, oh, that's really nice. He said, it's a bit fancy. I said to him, it's a bit fancy, this sword. Do you know what? He goes, you know what? Every master needs a fancy sword. So that was nice. That was really nice of him. And that's picture that I have with him and me with the sword. That was that sword, which actually I tried to find today. I looked everywhere for it. I couldn't find it. So I hope I haven't lost it. If I lose it, I'm going to cry. I'm gonna cry like a baby.
Oh, no, you can't lose
that.
I was telling my wife, you need to search my house.
Yeah, you need to turn that place upside down.
Damn right.
We got another question that came in, and it's from Razul. Why don't you have ranks? How does one measure progress? So first part, why don't you have ranks? Second part, how does one measure progress?
Well, I think they are linked, isn't it? I think rank and progress, because at the end of the day, it's about how well you move. You can have all the technical ability, knowledge. You can have that all in the head, the theory of how things should be done. The history of Filipino martial art and culture and involvement, all that stuff. But what it boils down to is, can you move? And if you can't move, then there's no point in you having a title, although people do. In our system, you are a student, you're a teacher, and then obviously from the teacher, you master what you know. Out of respect, people will call you master to show you, if they want to call you that. Well, guru is fine, So there isn't like red and black and blue belts, whatever. You're a student, you learn, you progress, become a guru. And like I say, if people want to give you the title of master, so be it. But you don't go looking for it. Yeah. That's it. Simple. It's quite simple.
Yeah, I know. Great answer.
Yeah.
Well, we got another one from Ali. Have you ever tried bringing Montoni to the UK?
Yeah, we've tried that quite a while ago, and I was the first one, really, pretty much, to always encourage Master Tony to come and do seminars and stuff like that. He used to always say to me, "Yeah, Shamim, this year, next year, this year, next year," and then I think one time we sort of got it together, but then again, Master Tony didn't come. He wouldn't want to come, and then in the end, I don't know what transpired really, because I left it to one of my guys to sort out, John Mellon, and it never really took place in the UK for whatever reason. But Master Tony didn't come. Arnold and I think it was Peachy at the time, they did Europe and America. But my focus is really, Arnold is one of my close friends. He's a coach. Arnold, we call him. He's the head in the Philippines. We love the guy to bits, but my focus was I want to get Master Tony to come to UK, and it never happened. It wasn't meant to be.
Am I correct? I'm not saying it's just something I've heard. I'm by no means am I saying this is accurate. He was reluctant really to travel outside the Philippines. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's what it boiled down to. I mean, he did Australia years and years ago, but he was reluctant because, he's such a generous man, Master Tony was. People who knew him will know he was looking after loads of children that were not his, and he would not leave them. He would not leave them. Okay. So that was one of his. Yeah, I mean, the amount of times I would say to him to forget about to leave the Philippines. Every year that I used to visit him, I used to say, Master Tony, you and I need to go to Cebu, visit your hometown and train in Cebu and go to the beaches and get out this Manila, get out the smog. Yes, Shamim, yes, Shamim. Next year, we'll do it next year. We'll do it next year, he said. Next year never came. Never came. He never would leave. I tried my best.
Yeah. No, definitely. let me just see a couple more have come in from. What was the training structure with Montoni when you trained with him? How was the training structured?
How was the training structure? Okay. When I was learning with Master Tony, initially it was the 4 angles, 4 strikes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, the 12 strikes that we should do. So we start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, basic beginners. Then you do like a defend, an attack. And through that, you just progressed into just angles of attack. Someone will strike you, you do whatever. So angolo, vertical backsack, whatever. So there wasn't like a syllabus as such, you know, where you did set things. We did a few drills, Australia drill, I think it was called at the time.
Australia
Abanico. There wasn't many drills at the time. I learned it with Master Tony through kind of application rather than through drills. And I mean, again, in the later years, and in fact, the last year before Master Tony died, I said to him, Master Tony, why have we got so many things now? Because we've got now, Coach Arnold's very good at doing all of that. I forget unless I do it. I forget because drills are not my thing. That's why in the Silat as well, I hate doing drills. I want this application straight away.
I'm not alone.
You're not alone. You're not alone. So,
you found your soulmate, Dean.
There you go. Now, I said to Master Tony, why is it that we are doing all these stuff, drills and patterns or whatever now? And he had a very logical answer, which I respect. He said, you know what? We need to show our art to the people. And the only way we can do that is if we have these things. Very good. And I said to him,
Makes sense.
And I said to him, like, you know, how come I didn't do that when I was training with you? And again, he just put his hand on my shoulder and said, you know, Shamim, when I trained you, I trained you how to fight. That's why you move the way you move. Because I'm a foreigner. I'm not there, you know, at his beck and call. I've got to go there and spend, you know, 2 months, a month at a time.
Yeah.
So it's my
Interesting
resources, you know. So he trained me like that, and you know, that's the way I teach my guys as well. Really,
Good
I
for
do
you. That's
some
interesting.
drills.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something he did across the board, generally speaking, or was it more specific to you? In other words, if you were coming from a different country and he knew your time was limited, and he would be perhaps when he might not see you again, or how long he would see you again, do you think he tailored curriculum to the foreigners more so than the people living there?
I don't know about, you know, to the people living there, the foreigners, but I know he did take like a personal approach. So you know, he might teach me in one way, which would suit me, and somebody else that might come in, he'll teach them a different way.
Yeah, different way.
Yeah, I mean, it was very. Even though we might have 4 or 5 people in the gym, he would tailor it, you know, to suit you. So that was unique about, you know, Master Tony. He did see your strengths and weaknesses and work on those.
Yeah, he basically like approached things like a coach rather than just a teacher. Yeah.
It wasn't
Nice.
have to do this, and that. No, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it.
Couple more questions. One is from Abdul. We got, what's the difference between KI and PT and other styles? PT, I'm assuming he's meaning PT Tertia.
PT Tertia?
I don't know. You said PT, but I'm assuming that's what he's meaning. I'm assuming.
Okay. Well, I don't know too much about PT Tertia apart from all the stuff that I've seen. Yeah. But Illustrissimo is a blade orientated art, and there's no ifs and buts about that one. You can do what we do with a stick if you don't have a sword, but it is a sword emphasis, sword strike, sword cut, sword stabbing, dagger. You cannot do like for like with a stick, unfortunately. People do think you can. Some things you can, of course, some things you can translate into the stick, but a lot of stuff it just doesn't translate. You'll cut yourself. So
Mm.
that's what it is.
There's definitely a huge difference between PT and KI. It goes from the tip PT. Whether it's I'm not putting it down, so I don't want people to get misconstrue what I'm saying here.
Yeah,
I'm pointing out just what they do. So before know that, but the tip, they bring the tip behind regardless of sword and stick. You know what I mean?
And there's a question here. Sorry, it says, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give yourself, and with regards to martial arts and FMA in particular, and going back in time? So, well done, Raj, Sagu, for asking that. I don't even. When I go back in time, do you know what? Like Master Tony said, there's a time and place for everybody. So my time was what it was, So I sometimes kick myself and say, "Oh, I wish I did train with that."
I know you can't.
But
you can't do that. You can't.
No.
You know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and you try to hold yourself in contempt.
Yeah,
things happen for a reason. Good.
Things happen for a reason. Trust in that, and move on from that. Really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think I've got any regrets. I mean, I could have gone on to do, La Ponte, Dulce Paris or whatever, but although I respect and like them. Simon Wells is a good friend of mine. He does the Ponte when we see each other, an FMA festival, whatever. We do the Ponte. If he's teaching that, I do it. But my interest has been from day one when I've learned about Illustrissimo is to do Illustrissimo.
Okay, I've got the follow. I've got a question here. Sent to me earlier on. Is there any advice Master Tony gave you that you could share with us? Is there any advice that Master Tony gave you that you could share with us?
Advice. Well, in terms of training, what he's always said is you have to learn how to use strikes and footwork. So even though everybody says that, you have to emphasize the striking, because if you're a total beginner, you can't move out of the way and give a strike back. You're finished. Yeah. So you have to train with the intention of you're really going to get hit. So lots of people train and they will give a kind of half-hearted attack, or that doesn't work. When you train, you have to train with focus and intention. Make it as real as possible. Don't, because you're training. You don't want to hurt your partner, of course, but make it as real as possible.
Good answer. We do got another one that just came in, Tom.
Okay.
Last one for me, promise. No, it doesn't.
Come on, boy.
It doesn't have to be the last one. They're good questions, so keep them coming. Have you trained with and met the rest of the senior KI masters, such as Master Tupper? I'm assuming maybe the pillars like Yuli Romo or
right. Yeah. Well,
I hope.
Yeah, that's what I think so. Well, I've trained with Master Tupper several occasions. I've trained with. I tried to train with Yuli Romo once. That was quite interesting. I was always wanted to meet him. I asked Master Tony, please, can you set it up for me? Can you set up a day when I can meet Yuli Romo? So he did, and then, actually, he didn't teach me anything. To be fair, he said I was a bit disappointed that he didn't really teach me anything. And afterwards, Master Tony said to me, he was laughing at me because, he rang Master Tony and said, actually, there was nothing I could teach him because he knows it already. So that was quite funny. But Christopher Ricketts, he was brilliant. I really liked, training with him. I mean, a lot of people said he was very tough. He was very tough guy. I remember seeing him for the first time myself, and when Abdul went for the very first hit, we went there. He was battering the life out of his students. No,
he does.
Right, and me and I were thinking, oh my God, do we really want to train with this guy? But actually, he meant well. And then him and I got on really well. And I trained with him several times. Whenever I used to visit, I used to try to train with him. I saw his children. Bruce and Brandon, they were little kids at the time. Yeah, they were doing stuff,
And look at Brandon now, huh?
Yeah, he's a big boy now. Yeah. So yeah, I did train with them. And who else? I mean, that's it. There was no one else really to train with in terms of seniors. They, as far as I'm concerned, they were the seniors.
Just I'm piggybacking off what you just said about maybe for the folks that are watching, what did you see? I know it's a long time ago, but I guess the best you can remember. Were there distinct differences in Master Tober's approach versus Montoni with regards to KI?
Yeah, I think they had a slight different approach and technique wise, and I think that is purely based on personal preference. So Christopher Ricketts, Master Ricketts, he would do certain things quickly and direct, and he would have limited kind of movement in what he does, But with Master Tony, he would have more variety of defenses, if you like. I think that was the main difference, but pretty much the core structure, the essence of it was the same.
No.
That's it.
Yeah, no. We do got a.
Because based on that, I had a student of mine back in the days. He passed away now. One of my very good, close students and instructor, Andy.
Oh yeah, I do remember him.
Yeah, he died a few years ago now. But after he got married, his honeymoon was to go to America to train with Christopher Ricketts. And when he was there, yeah, that's crazy. So when he was there, he was training with Christopher Ricketts. Christopher Ricketts paid me a compliment as well, actually. He said, do you know what? I can see that you're a Shamim student and he taught you well. So that was really nice compliment from Master Ricketts.
Yeah. We do got another question here. Oh, let me see. I just got to scroll up a bit. Okay, and this is from you mentioned that you were teaching something called, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly.
Kilusan.
Kilusan.
Yeah.
Kilusan. Okay, can you please tell us a bit about that?
Okay, right. Ever since I've been teaching Illustrissimo, Master Tony's always said to me, you know what, you need to have a subsystem where you generate the interest, because Illustrissimo is a unique art. It's for the few that seek to do the sword. It's not for the masses, unfortunately. So to get people through the door, you need to have the empty hands, the Filipino boxing, that kind of stuff. So he and I used to always talk about it, and I used to ask him, what name should I call it? And he used to say a name, and I said, oh, that's rubbish. Then I used to come up with a name, and he said, oh, that's rubbish. So all these years, we never used to agree on a name, and it was just a running joke with us. We used to always kind of do that. And I think only a year ago or so, I was speaking to some of my guys, and one of them said, do you know, your stuff that you do, it's all about movement. It's all about the flow. It's all about the movement. And I thought, actually, there you go. I like that. Kilusan, it means movement, but unfortunately, there's a left-wing group in the Philippines that are associated with that name. So I'm not that.
Oh, that's a problem. Yes,
that's a problem. I am just about the movement. So what I do, the first two letters are KI, as you can see. These are my influence, KI, and the rest is about the movement. So I teach Illustrissimo principles, get people interested, Filipino boxing, some Silat concepts, Southeast Asian martial art concepts, basically. So I'm trialing that out at the moment, but Illustrissimo is the pure art, stays pure.
Interesting. Okay. So, wow. And I think
Andy was a legend. Yeah, he was a legend.
I'm not missing any. Okay, I think as far as what they're posting here. Okay. Let me just, Tom, did you? I'm just checking now, just to make if we didn't miss anything. Yep.
Yeah, I think pretty much we've covered. Even Dave Radix asked it. Oh, um, well, you already answered the first part of the question here is why did you come to train in KI? The second part of the question that I was given is what is it that sets KI apart for you personally?
Well, do you know what? It's for me, the way my mind works, I have to see something and reference it, understand it, so I can actually retain it. And I think this is why Montoni said you learn quick because that's the way my brain works. Now, with the Illustrisimo, you have the names, Estrella, the Pluma, you got Buxa, whatever the name is. Now, I know that name is associated with a strike. I can't forget that. You see what I mean? Rather than saying you do something like this or you do something like that,
Yeah.
it's the name, and for me, it works really well. My memory is not so great in that sense, but if I can picture it and compartmentalize it, I can
Yeah.
actually remember it. So that's what I liked about the Illustrisimo. Other styles have so many different systems within the system. It gets very complicated. So you might have a double stick system, single stick system, stick and dagger system, a dagger system, an empty hand system, a long pose. It system is one system done with all this variety of weapon and technology. This is why I like it. It is so simple for me that if I learn it with a double weapon, I can do it with a single weapon or with a sword and dagger, punta dagger, spari dagger, whatever.
Puntay daga. Yeah.
We call it punta dagger, but sword and dagger.
Yeah.
So that's what makes Illustrissimo, for me, unique and marks it from the other styles.
Yeah, there just seems to be also like there's defensive movements in KI that I've yet to see in other systems. I'm not saying they're not in there. I'm just saying like I've yet to see in other systems, and footwork variations too that I've not seen in other systems. And conceptually speaking, like traction and all that, I've just not seen in detail or really stressed or and all that. It just I don't and again I could be wrong. I'm just saying based on thus far what I've been exposed to. I don't know. I've never seen it. Some of the systems since I've trained in.
I think it's a dueling art. At the end of the day, it's pretty much a one-on-one art. At the end of the day, and there's a sword art. So you're gonna have to use your footwork to evade, and obviously feet and hand. That's why I like the Sila and the Illustrissimo. The principle of moving the hand and the feet are there. So I'm not just going to move my hand and leave my feet, or move my feet and leave my hand. I've got to move the both. That's why I connect with, I have to move to strike. I have to strike to move, it's like that.
Yeah. What about first, because you currently teach, correct? What do you teach? Do you teach KI to your students or different arts as well?
No. So like I said, the Kulusan I teach to the young people. Yeah, so that's like is separate from the Illustrissimo. Illustrissimo is basically for the adults, really, the people who want to learn. Okay. So I have private students that come and train with me. I used to run a Wednesday class, but with the lockdown and everything, it's just restarting. Abul Kalam is one of my students, instructors. He's teaching that, and I don't have many qualified instructors in the art, and all these years I've got about 8 now instructors. So I've got Abjul is one of my instructors. We got John Mellon, Levy, Andy Tyler, who's passed away, Tony Hands. Whoever I missed out, go and tell me. Whoever I missed out, I missed out somebody. Tell me on the screen, somebody. I missed out.
As a friend.
Yeah. And recently, Alex Dimostanos, I hope I pronounced his name right, one of my longest term students. He's been training with me privately for about 20 years. And he's still training with me for some reason. He's the one I sent you the video of.
Oh,
Dean.
okay.
Yeah. So, most of my guys, I don't have many guys. I'm not really looking for, hundreds and hundreds of students. I'm looking for quality of students,
Yeah.
not just in what they do, but in the person themselves.
Yeah, that's really important. Yeah.
That is really important to me. So, having 6, 7 students instructors is not many according to everyone else out there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, but it's not. I mean, obviously, you're obviously doing many things well, and I mean, all that. What just make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, how did Master Tony's death affect you?
Master Tony's death. Well, that really was I don't know. It was like somebody just ripped out your heart.
I bet.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I've got to thank Bong Abonir and Nico Dihanan. They were the first people to inform me of his death, actually. So,
Maestro Bong? Oh, okay.
Yeah. They sent me a message, say, "Oh, have you heard Master Tony died?" And I don't know what it was so proper surreal. I think hearing that, I mean, I knew he was ill, but no one really told me how bad his situation was. And obviously, then all of a sudden he died. At the time, Coach Arnold, he was going through lots of personal things with his aunt, in a similar state, dying in Cebu. So he was back and forth. So he didn't really speak to me about it because he was going through, trauma and grief himself. So when I heard that, my world literally came to a standstill. I was in bits.
Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't.
Yeah, it took me. I'm being a bit funny now. I've got to compose myself.
Yeah.
So tough loss like that, man. That's it. What we did miss one here. And how many teachers teach authentic hero?
Well, it's very difficult to say because I mean, Master Tony in the later years gave loads of people instructorship, which I don't know a lot of them, to be fair. But you've got Coach Arnold's the best person probably to answer that one. I represent the UK and Europe. There's Serge in France. Who else is there? I have a rep in Poland. There's Michael. There is a rep in Spain. There's a rep in Croatia. Selvin in Croatia. I'm really sorry, I can't remember the names.
No.
In Canada, obviously, you've got Guru Tom D. There's Kevin. There's somebody else out there I can't remember.
In the States, I think there's Alex.
You've got Alex Ursha in the States.
You've got Alex, of course, yeah. So forgive me for not knowing the names. Coach Arnold is
That's So in the States, Guru Alex, and I don't want to throw I know Vico Train.
Vico comes and goes, yeah.
I'm not sure Vico's better to answer that than me. And Dan Lohman?
I don't know him.
Sabrina?
I've heard of her. I don't.
Yeah, again, this is just what I heard, so don't quote me certainly on those. Archie lives in Canada. Yeah, Archie.
Yeah, Archie.
Who's coming on next month, actually.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Brandon.
All right. There's a question here. What key differences have you seen between students of KI in the UK and the Philippines?
Say that again. What?
What key differences have you seen between students of KI in the UK and the Philippines?
Well, like I said, I've got my way of teaching, the way Master Tony taught me.
Just cutting.
Froze.
That's what they do. Coach Arnold's teaching those set drills and patterns, and these guys do it fantastically well. My guys, even me, I don't do it so well because I don't really practice that element of it so much. You know, we do it, but not so much. I teach more of the kind of application, if you like. So that's what makes our guys slightly different. Not saying it's better or worse, but you know, that's how we do it.
I would enjoy your instruction. I would enjoy
come to London.
Yeah, I would enjoy that. Like, okay, you got it. Okay, this is a 16 set move, and I'm just like, no. Just an example. I'm not saying
there are. You do need set drills for beginners. I agree.
Yeah, I do agree that. So they can get the defensive movements down, hand placement. No,
but that is not the art.
Yeah.
That is not the style. That is not the art. You know, that helps you kind of gain your timing and, you know, understanding of movement. Yes, but like I said, Master Tony, when I asked him why is it that I do it, and his answer was, I taught you how to fight. That's why you move so well, and that's what it is. He taught me how to move. You know, I don't know any other way.
Boils down to it. Yeah, I think it will be easier for you to understand like the drills and everything because he already taught you how to fight, the very essence of it.
Yeah,
where to be, where not to be, and then
exactly
do there as far as your defensive movements. Because I agree. If you know where to go, then it's gonna be a hell of a lot easier to apply a defensive movement if you don't even know where to go. No.
Yeah, true.
Wasn't a question about, are you worried about the KI system being diluted
with the passing of the seniors?
Well, that's always a threat, isn't it? At the end of the day, with any art or system or whatever in life. But the main thing is, I've always said that I will teach it the way I've been taught. I'll pass that to my students. And that's why a lot of people come to me to train and they disappear because they can't hack the fact that people call me really hard sometimes, harsh, or they say that I hold back sometimes. And some people say I don't hold back. It all depends on your perspective. If you want to learn, I will give you everything you need, but you need to be able to do that well before I pass on, move you on to something else. It's not that I don't want to teach you, you know. In fact, some people say I give too much. You know, I give too much in terms of instructions. I don't care because at the end of the day, if you're able to absorb it, I'll give it to you. If you can't, I won't give it to you. So as long as people, my students, teach it the way I taught them, I don't think Illustrissimo, not here anyway, not in my watch, not in Europe, will be diluted. I don't think so. You know, well, I hope not anyway.
So just for the folks who maybe are watching, just from the concept of Praction, like, is that how do you instill that in your students? Because being it conceptual, like, are there certain things you do to help your students get acclimated with it and be able to test it out in the lens of which I'm guessing isolation sparring?
Yeah, that's it. Isolation. It's about practicing one thing and getting that right. There's no secret really. You know, it's practicing the one thing and making that your second nature. So, I mean, I used to watch the demos and whatever Master Tony and them used to do, you know, all the footage and that. They never had a set drill, really. It's only more recently, we'd have set drill. But like I said, back in the day, it'd be like, get on stage, someone attack you, you deal with it.
Just react.
You know? Yeah, that's true. Everything that I do, pretty much, if you see some of my old videos and whatnot, most 99% would be, I get on stage and I say, feed me, and then I react. So it isn't choreographed, or you know what I mean? It's just done as and when.
That's what it was, though. I mean, am I correct in that that's what Illustrissimo was really about? I mean, having patterns or set. And I understand why they're being introduced for the students' sake and all that. I guess you might have already touched on it kind of with your answer, not as far as how you handle your students. But I guess what's your opinion on that? As far as I guess what he represented, what he was able to do for an una bogata prection, and all that, as opposed to now patterns or set drills and all that.
Well, I think that's another thing is like I said in the beginning, it's like practice. But in the absence of having the time and the luxury to practice one thing in isolation, you do drills, you do set patterns to make you able to at least move. Because if you're teaching a student and they don't feel that they're progressing, they're not going to come back. Not that you're relying on them to come back, but you want them to have an interest. So hopefully they will see it through. They will see it through, and then they'll get it. They will get it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
It's funny because it's a touchy subject, and what I'm leaning to is that it's like I understand what you're saying. I 100% do, and I agree with you. I do. I think I agree with everything you're saying on here, and I'm so glad Tom brought you on. But it's that fine line of okay, do I express it the way like he did, or do I modernize it? I'm just speaking in terms of teachers, not me.
Yeah.
Or do I modernize it because I want students to come in, I want students to experience this art, I want to perpetuate this art, so I'm going to make stuff inclusive that maybe wasn't there from day one per se. It's a tough, it's a tough,
It's a balance.
It is a tough thing, and to answer to that is there are some people that believe that whatever Tatang did or how he did it, that is illustrissimo, and that's it, full stop. And I think that's a very narrow view of the system, because don't forget Tatang, from all the things that I've heard anyway, he wasn't a great explainer or teacher. He was very, very good at what he did. It's thanks to Christopher Ricketts, Guru Ricketts, Master Tony, Yuli Romo, them three. Everyone talks about pillars and all that. For me, there is no. It's Christopher Ricketts, Tony Diego, and Yuli Romo. Because at the end of the day, they were the ones that really, really focused on what this man did. Christopher Ricketts,
with recording.
Yeah, exactly that. Christopher Ricketts, Master Ricketts, he is the one who has the most footage.
You can't believe it. You can't believe it.
I've seen it. I know. I went to his house one day, and I went to his room, no word of a lie. I went to his room. He opened his wardrobe. Do you call it wardrobe in the States? I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
Forget the clothes for his children. It was racks and racks of videos. Yeah. I'm like, wow. Then he went, wait there. He opened the chest of drawer, videos and videos and videos. I've never seen so many videos.
Yeah. They convert. So they're luckily, they've been converted to DVDs now.
Oh, brilliant.
And Brandon has them all. And
you
just can't believe the footage. Yeah. It's just,
with their help, things evolved. A lot of people, I won't name names, but there's certain people that say, that what Master Tony was teaching us wasn't authentic illustrissimo. And I find that really offensive when some people mention or say that. Because at the end of the day, Master Tony, in my personal view anyway, I don't know what other people think, he, through his experience of teaching many, many different people for many, many years, he's found answers that probably he didn't have years ago. That wasn't around. So he's found the answer. That's why maybe something looks slightly different, but because he's able to find the answer, master it, that's why he was so good at what he did. I've not seen anybody, weld a weapon like Master Tony could. So fast, so fluid, excellent. Every time I went to see him, I would always learn something new. I think, wow, really? But last time we did it was like this. He said, no, but this is better. do it like this, do it
Yeah.
better. You know, so there was some element of evolution, and people who say, "Oh, it shouldn't evolve," there's a problem. I think there's a problem.
No, right. Things evolve, and as well as they should, because you're getting a different clientele. I mean, there's several reasons. You're getting different clientele. The need for, defending yourself because the neighboring town's coming over, and going to attack the village. I mean, yeah. So several factors as far as involvement and all that. It's funny what you mentioned there parallels a lot when Maestro Bong Avenir tells me, kind of behind the scenes and private messages, that he really would tailor to certain things, but then if more in a group setting,
There's a slight difference with the approach.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, in a group, he'll tailor make
You
it.
approach it differently. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why my training was totally different. Pretty much, when we got together as a group, we did group work. When I was with him, I did specific work. So for that, I'm really grateful. Actually, to be honest, I mean, without that, I wouldn't, be doing what I do. And as out of the love and respect for Master Tony, that I still teach illustrissimus, going to the funeral of Master Tony, that really brought home things. It really made me kind of think, I spent all these years coming to the Philippines. What for? Was it because of Illustrissimo? Really? Actually, no, not really. It was for Master Tony. It's the connection I had with Master Tony. The love, the respect. He treated me more than a student, like a son. That you feeling that
is precious. Yeah.
And so when I went to the funeral and I stepped into the park, it was like the whole world kind of closed on me.
That's tough. I mean, somebody that impacted your life like that and was that significant. I mean, and so do you still are you still under Maestro Arnold, or did you still bring him to the?
I have brought Arnold several times, but with me, I'm always moving house, and I'm always working on my house. Then there's COVID and whatnot, so I've not been able to bring him for a few years. But we are together. We are
good. Okay.
We're together at the end of the day. Obviously he does his thing in Manila. I do my thing, but we are one family.
No, awesome here. So what do you first your students, like, what do you as far as your students' journey, what do you try to impress upon them? Like, what do you try to convey to them as far as their personal journey, regardless of the system you might be teaching, but as far as them as students and their journey? Are there any things that you impress upon your students or share with them?
My thing is, don't rush. Don't rush it, because once you rush and you set yourself a false target, that I want to be an instructor in 1 year or whatever it is, your goals and ambition are shattered, within a few months, and you cannot be yourself. You can't reach your full potential, So everybody or anybody that always says to me, how long before I become an instructor? I know that person's not going to be lasting in my class. So my thing is, focus on getting the basics, working that, and then things will fall into place. I can't say anything more.
Yeah, Brett, always right.
Yeah, 100% agree.
That's the thing with, even though I'm teaching illustratism or whatever, every time I've gone to Master Tony to train, I've always gone back to doing some basic stuff, nothing fancy, nothing basic. And he just say to me, him, even with when I was doing my silat with Steve, and he'd always say, why do you want to do the basics? Why don't you, you've done that. But I was like, I really need to know that I know it.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And I think a lot of people don't want to do that. They want more and more and more without absorbing.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
I think what it is I think social media, unfortunately, created that monster, because people go on YouTube, they go on Facebook, and they see these elaborate aesthetically
Yeah.
pleasing drills and stuff like that, and
Mm.
it's like like a candy store. I don't know.
Yeah. I have a
um,
few students who are like that. It was like,
It doesn't work.
when am I going to move to the next one? It's like you're not even good yet with your
I guess
basics.
it's one of the negative
Yeah.
aspects of social media, or all
Yeah.
that. Even though there's a lot of good that comes from it, but I think because we're constantly, exposed to all this fancy, that you see, and then
Yeah, that's true. That's very
I-
true.
It says here, when is Master Shamim going to upload videos of him training Master Tony? I'm the world's worst person in doing stuff like that, but yeah, what I will
Johnny
do.
Wick up there first.
I will do. I've got a YouTube channel which I started many years ago, and I've never really done too much with it.
Updated it. Okay.
So it's called Haque, HAQUE 2000. I will, now that people are asking, I will upload footage of me and Master Tony training.
You should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. People would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
Treasures like that,
Oh man, yeah. Before they get lost.
Yeah, right. And then, so when what are your goals when COVID got it, when we get out of this miserable mess, like what are your goals as far as like the system, assuming that, there is this end soon or at some point?
Yeah. Well, hopefully with all that will come to normal. I would like to obviously promote the Illustrissimo in UK and Europe, because that is what I've been tasked to do. So really it's about, if people are interested in learning the sword fighting style of Illustrissimo, they need to really contact me, and we can organize seminars or whatever. But without that, it's very difficult. I'm going to be teaching in the UK as I normally do. I will, like I said, I'll be posting some videos of me teaching my students some material, maybe on YouTube, if not on Facebook. So I'm going to try to put myself out there a bit, which I've not really been doing. I've kept a low profile. I'm a bit kind of antisocial like that, but everybody been pushing me to do it, so I will be doing that. But like I say, if anybody's interested in Europe to learn, I'm available.
All right. So how would they contact you?
Well, through Facebook. They can contact me through Facebook or email me at fmaacademy@hotmail.com, and I will obviously respond to that. I mean, like I said, at the moment I've got Poland is Michael. He's my rep there, but I've not been able to go for a few years because of the COVID and whatnot. He's really good. He does JKD, Illustrissimo, and BJJ. He's a good all-rounder. Anybody nearby can visit him. I've had interest from I think Lithuania recently, so I'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I'm available if anybody wants to learn.
Yeah, here I just have a couple suggestions for you. Like,
yeah,
you should definitely post them in FMA discussion, like some of the bigger groups. Like, post your stuff in there. I mean, you're gonna generate interest. People are gonna. Have you considered, like just from a like very basic, just elementary entry level stuff, like doing Zoom. I mean, like, getting your name out there and all that.
Yeah, do you know what? I know a lot of people have been doing Zoom, but I've found it difficult to, and there's no reflection on anybody else, it's just me. I've just found that kind of difficult, because for me it's a bit alien to be doing something on a video and no one's there, because I can't teach them the finer
No,
points.
I know, but I mean, if you looked at it from just like a very
entry level, basic
entry level, then from there they can pursue you deeper.
Okay, well.
Yeah, once you finish your headquarters.
Finish headquarters. Yeah, no, actually, that's a good suggestion, Dean. I might put it out there on FMA discussion for a future date. If anybody wants to join, then they're welcome.
That's what I mean. Like, you just like show basics, and then they can pursue you further for deeper. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, all right. I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, right, exactly. It was a basic footwork and strikes, positioning. Yeah, right. And
Excellent.
I think people would probably enjoy seeing what you do and taking your class. You know what I mean? Seeing your expression. I mean, I would.
Brilliant.
Um,
What's there says people want to be in John Wick. John Wick.
yeah,
after
I
the
know. That's
first
funny. I
time.
saw that. That was funny.
Yeah.
See,
Wow.
social media.
Yeah, so
Right?
yeah, it does. It does have a
Hollywood,
big
social
influence.
media. You know, everybody wants to.
I want to be in John Wick. Forget about the students.
Yeah, I want.
I wanna
Yeah,
be-
yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but wow.
Or someone wrote down here, without a partner is not natural or true.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
know.
Yeah,
It's
ideally,
like you
sure.
say, you know, like
yeah,
you said,
it's true.
if it's just showing the basic
It's
footwork
basics.
of strikes,
Okay, here's your
then it's
stance.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basic strikes, some basic
Yeah.
footwork. You know, then they can
It's
pursue
basic
deeper.
movement and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll set a date for that.
Yeah. Let me know, and then
That'll be good.
like I said,
Let us know. We can always post it in the FMA discussion.
yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
the
I'll
thing
do
about
that
the
then.
discussion. I mean, we're always we're really behind like promoting and all that. So
Yeah, it's a shame Abdul's not here. We was going to do a bit of a demo, but
yeah, but I have a
obviously,
suggestion though for we can bring you guys back. So what we do is we'll bring you guys back, and one of you guys we can get because we got obviously your background already. So if you want, you can make the second part like more. Because
More
what we're trying
demo.
to do, what we're finding is we want the guests and this to be the show stuff. I mean, obviously feasible when it can, but we really want to kind of go in the direction where the guests actually show stuff. So let's bring you back on with him, and you guys
that'd be
can
great.
demo.
Yeah.
Great, but
No
later
problem with that.
later time.
Yeah. No,
So
we can do
make
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
can
we
set
was
a
planning-
schedule.
Yeah, we was planning to do some demos, but you
Yeah,
know,
but we'll
everything
just
happens for a
bring you back.
reason.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
just
that'd
bring
be
you
good,
back.
that'd be great.
Yeah, well, yeah. I know Abjol has a very important task
He's
to
a
do
very
as
busy
well.
guy. He's a very busy
Very
guy.
busy guy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can't blame him.
Yeah.
He does a lot of good community work, charity work. You know, I don't know. I couldn't do that. His energy level is up there. So he's always been like that from the time that I met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, Bull Chadhari said, I agree. Without a partner, it's hard to understand the movement.
Actually,
yeah, it's that is true.
I've got to say,
the same thing as with lightning. Yeah, it's the
I've
same.
got to say, you know, out of
during the interview,
Can you stream a clip during interview?
Oh, yes. We can pull
Yes,
up
we
media.
can.
Yes, we can. So we can absolutely do that. So in other words, what enables us to pull up media is what makes it really easy pulling it from YouTube, because all we do is just copy the link and we can bring it on here. That's the easiest way to do it. Hopefully that helps. Yeah. So next time you come on, if there's clips you want to show, if you have them on YouTube, Shamim, it makes
it easier.
Really
yeah.
So put on YouTube first, you're saying?
Yeah, if you can, because then what we do is we have a media box here. We just click it and then we can paste on here and bring it right to it. Yeah.
All right, I'll do that. One of my students just said demo is a great idea. Abul Chaudhry. Now, Abul Chaudhry, he's one of my students, but I tell you what. Oh, there you go. There's a lineage. So
there's a list.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Actually,
Sweet.
Johannes hasn't received his certificate yet or anything like that. But Johannes is one of my old students who's fantastic at doing what he does. Again, my guys are humble guys, good character, and got the ability to pull it off. So Johannes is number 8. Number 9 on my list, I'd like to see Abul Chaudhry, one of my students, who hasn't fully committed until now, but I think in a couple of years' time, he's going to be, hopefully, if he continues, on that list. So Abul Chaudhry, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. We just announced it in front of thousands of people.
Yeah, in front of
You know, there you go. But yeah, we'll have to do that.
I'm so glad this is really enjoyable.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been.
I like your. I like your what you had to say, your approach, how you think. You don't like drills, so man, that's always I always get along with somebody like that, man. So, but I'm looking forward to bring you guys back on. You guys could do
nice.
demos, yeah. So why don't you do this? Work it out with Tom, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, brilliant. That's right. Yeah. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you for everybody who's been watching.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll see you again.
It's an honor and pleasure, man.
Always. Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was enjoyable.
Yeah.
So you just coordinate with him. So what I'll do is I will download and I will post for tonight.
Okay.
And
so maybe we can.
We got to do that practicing on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, folks, if you're watching, might as well just let the cat out of the bag. We're considering, actually, maybe we'll get some of you guys' feedback. We're considering just running live on YouTube, and then from YouTube, bring it over here and all that. Just because it's what we're finding is we're putting on Facebook, we have to download it, bring it to YouTube, and then from YouTube share it to Facebook. When we can just go on YouTube and then just share it to Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's
makes life easier.
We're thinking like seriously doing, and so basically for what would be when we implement this, it'll be instead of coming here to view the episodes, you would go to FMA discussion on YouTube and watch them there live. So that's where we're probably gonna be heading, probably sooner than later, I'm thinking. So, but all right. So we'll be in touch.
Yep. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching.
And we'll see you. I don't even know who is next. Who is next? I think you're.
I've got one on Saturday. That is Dayang, Miss Yang, but that's 12 noon here in the UK and 7 in the Philippines.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then Paulo Pagaling next week.
Who's that?
Paulo.
I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah. Anything? I'd like to see that definitely.
Yeah.
But, all right, folks. Thank you for watching. This will be downloaded and posted in discussion and some of the other sites as well. All right, guys.
Cheers, Dean. See you in a bit.
Thank you as always.
Bye. Stay safe.